November 8th, 2016. The entire world is glued to their television screens. It is election day in the United States. The tension is palpable. But while the world is watching the polls, one man is as far away from Washington, D.C. as it is physically possible to be. John Kerry, the then U.S. Secretary of State, was not in the war room. He wasn't at a campaign rally. He had quietly flown to Antarctica. Why? Why would the highest-ranking diplomat in the United States leave the country during the most critical political transition in modern history to visit a frozen wasteland? The official story? Climate change research. But Kerry wasn't the only one. Just months earlier, Patriarch Kirill, the head of the Russian Orthodox Church, a man with immense influence and deep ties to the Kremlin, also made a sudden, unprecedented pilgrimage to Antarctica. He was photographed walking among penguins, performing a bizarre ritual blessing at a tiny wooden church in the middle of nowhere. And then there was Buzz Aldrin, the legendary astronaut, the second man to walk on the moon. At 86 years old, he insisted on visiting the South Pole. But the trip ended in disaster. Aldrin suffered a medical emergency and had to be frantically evacuated. But it's not his evacuation that sent chills down the spine of the internet. It was a tweet allegedly posted from his account while he was recovering, along with a picture of a strange pyramid-like mountain in the snow. The text simply read, "We are all in danger. It is evil itself." The tweet was deleted almost immediately, but the internet never forgets. Was it a hoax? A hallucination? Or did the man who saw the desolation of the moon see something even more terrifying right here on Earth? Why are world leaders, religious heads, and astronauts suddenly flocking to the most inhospitable place on the planet? Are they looking at ice, or are they meeting about what lies under it? Welcome to the bottom of the world, and welcome to the truth.
To understand what might be hidden in Antarctica today, we have to look at a piece of paper that shouldn't exist. In 1929, historians were cleaning out the dusty shelves of the Topkapi Palace in Istanbul when they found a gazelle skin map rolled up in a corner. It was drawn in 1513 by a Turkish admiral named Piri Reis. At first glance, it's just a beautiful old map. It shows the coast of Brazil, the jagged line of Africa. But when scholars looked at the bottom of the map, they stopped breathing. Connecting to the tip of South America was a massive coastline running eastward, a coastline that corresponds perfectly to the northern coast of Queen Maud Land in Antarctica. But there is a problem, a massive, impossible problem. Antarctica wasn't discovered by modern explorers until 1820. Piri Reis drew this map 300 years before anyone supposedly knew the continent existed. But it gets stranger. The map doesn't show Antarctica as we know it, a frozen block of white death. It shows it as a habitable landmass. It shows rivers, mountain ranges, and coastline without ice. Piri Reis wrote in his notes that he didn't create the map from scratch. He compiled it from much older source maps, some dating back to the 4th century BC, and perhaps even older, salvaged from the lost library of Alexandria. Geologists confirmed that the last time Queen Maud Land was free of ice and looked like this was at least 6,000 years ago. Some say even longer, before the last ice age, 12,000 years ago. This implies something terrifying for mainstream history. It means that thousands of years ago, before the invention of writing, before the wheel, someone was flying over Antarctica. Someone mapped this continent with satellite-level precision when it was green and lush. Who were they? And if a civilization was capable of mapping the entire globe 10,000 years ago, where did they go? Or did they just move underground? Fast forward to 1947. World War II is over. The Nazis have been defeated. The world is trying to rebuild. But the United States military has one last mission, and it's not in Europe. It's not in Japan. It is a full-scale military invasion of Antarctica. They called it Operation High Jump. The mission was led by Admiral Richard E. Byrd, a national hero and the most famous polar explorer of his time. The official reason, quote, training for cold weather warfare and mapping, end quote. But look at the inventory. This wasn't a mapping expedition. Byrd took 4,700 soldiers, an aircraft carrier, the USS Philippine Sea, 13 ships, 33 aircraft, and enough supplies to last for 8 months. You don't bring an aircraft carrier to look at penguins. You bring it to fight a war. The mission was scheduled to last 6 to 8 months, but after just 8 weeks, Admiral Byrd abruptly ordered a retreat. The fleet turned around and limped back to the U.S. They had lost a destroyer, several planes, and dozens of men. What happened? Upon his return, Admiral Byrd gave a cryptic interview to a Chilean newspaper, El Mercurio. He warned that in the next war, the United States would be attacked by, quote, flying objects that could fly from pole to pole at incredible speeds, end quote. Flying objects in 1947. Who had that technology? The Soviets? No. This is where the story enters the realm of the forbidden. For decades, rumors have circulated about Admiral Byrd's secret diary. Allegedly, during a flight over the South Pole, Byrd didn't see ice. His radio went silent. The white landscape below him dissolved. He wrote that he saw green forests, mammoth-like creatures, and a shimmering city underground. The diary claims his plane was intercepted by saucer-shaped craft marked with swastikas. He was escorted to land and met with a figure called the Master. He was warned that humanity was playing with nuclear fire and that this hidden civilization was watching. Skeptics dismiss the diary as fiction, but the facts of Operation High Jump remain. A massive military force went to the bottom of the world, encountered something that scared them, and came home running. And just a few years later, the entire world decided to lock the door. In 1959, 12 nations signed the Antarctic Treaty. Today, 54 countries are party to it. It is one of the most strictly enforced international agreements in history. It bans military activity. It bans mining. It bans nuclear testing. And essentially, it bans you. You cannot just buy a plane ticket and explore Antarctica. You can go on expensive, guided tours to designated coastal areas. But the interior, the deep ice, that is off limits. Why? Is it really to protect the environment? Or is it to keep us away from what they found in Wilkes Land? In 2006, NASA satellites detected a gravity anomaly in the Wilkes Land region, a massive concentration of mass sitting in the middle of a 300-mile-wide crater. Hidden under miles of ice is something so heavy it actually warps the Earth's gravitational field. Scientists say it's the remains of a massive asteroid impact.
the one that might have killed the dinosaurs. But others aren't so sure. The anomaly doesn't look like a scattered impact. It looks solid. It looks structured. Could it be a massive craft, a base, or the ruins of the civilization that Piri Reis's ancestors mapped thousands of years ago? And then there are the pyramids. Internet sleuths have found mountains in Antarctica that look suspiciously unlike mountains. 4 perfect sides, sharp peaks, standing in precise formation. Geologists call them nunataks, peaks of rock poking through the ice shaped by wind erosion. But nature rarely creates perfect squares. If the ice melts, what will we find? A lost history or a dormant threat? We are living in a unique time. The ice is melting. Every year, Antarctica reveals a little more of its surface. Ancient bacteria are waking up. Fossilized forests are being found. Perhaps John Kerry, Buzz Aldrin, and the others didn't go there to see the ice. Perhaps they went there because the ice is disappearing. They went there to see what is being exposed. Is there a race against time to recover ancient technology before it becomes public? Is that why the treaty is so strict? As the great ice sheets retreat, the history of humanity might be rewritten. The map of Piri Reis might become our reality again. The question is not if there is something down there. The question is, are we ready to meet it? What do you think, Buzz Aldrin? Is Antarctica the ruins of Atlantis, a secret alien base, or just a frozen continent guarding its natural secrets? Leave your theory in the comments below. And if you want to join us as we peel back the layers of history, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. The truth is deeper than you think.